Hello guys, it's Tengyun here, and in this video I am going to review Tengyun V2. Talking about its specification, its size is 55.5 mm, its weight is 83 gram, its little bit heavy cube, and its price is 2349 on Cube Lelo. In box we get this cube. With this cube we get two screwdriver. One of them is small, which is used to change the setting of magnets, and another one screw to change the screw settings. We also get extra core with this cube and two set of spring, just like we get with the Tengyun V1. And we also get this tool to change spring compression system as well as center piece travel system. Before moving ahead, let me tell you something about Tengyun V1. So Tengyun V1 is my main because it's a very fast cube. Its turning is very fast as well as effortless turning, and cube is very light. Also its corner cutting is best. It can corner cut at every angle very smoothly. That's why I like this cube. Now let's talk about cons of Tengyun V1. So it's a very unstable cube and its magnet is very weak, which makes it more unstable. To avoid that, we have to use weight file loop. So working on this point, Diane released new Tengyun V2, which is more stable with stronger magnet by giving magnet adjustment system. Now let's compare the shades of V1 and V2. Shades of V2 are little different. So you can see the green is little bright on Tengyun V1 and red is bright on Tengyun V2. Blue is different on Tengyun V2 but not visible in camera. Yellow, I like the yellow of Tengyun V1, and orange is little bit same. So overall shades are improved in Tengyun V2. Now let's talk about two main features of Tengyun V2, and the first one is magnet adjustment system. So it has three magnet settings with different strength. So one is first strongest magnet, which is strongest magnet, and then second is second strongest magnet, and third is weak magnet. If you change the setting of one side, the setting of opposite side is automatically changed, but in excess we have to change the setting of every side one by one. So changing magnetic strength will be faster in this cube, but I don't think anyone will change magnetic strength frequently. And here is the most important feature of Tengyun V2, its spring compression system. So it has outer ring for spring compression system, which has marking from 0, 0.5, 1 and 1.5. So using this ring you can change the spring compression of Tengyun V2, and in the center there is another ring which is used to adjust center piece travel distance. It works just like screw adjustment system, means either loosening or tightening the screw. So it's hard to understand, but it's just like GAN axis setting. So GAN axis has two nuts with two settings each, but Tengyun V2 has one nut with four settings in it. But GAN axis didn't have screw, and we got screw in Tengyun V2, so I think it's useless setting, as we can use the screw. We don't need this setting because using screw we have infinite combinations, but using this tool we have only 4 combinations. Lots of people still confusing between screw tensioning and spring compression system. Using screw we can change the distance of center piece, so it decide that how much space we kept for free movement of edge piece and corner piece. So if we keep it too tight, then there will be no space for free movement of edge piece and corner piece, and if we keep it too loose, the pieces will get extra space and they can pop. So if we tension the cube properly, then it can give better corner cutting. So function of screw is to hold the pieces and responsible for the corner cutting of the cube. That's why we adjust the screw where our cube can give better corner cutting. Now let's talk about the spring adjustment system. The purpose of spring is to push the center piece, and this center piece push the remaining pieces which it is holding. So if we use a weak or small spring, the center piece will not exert much force on edges or corners and cube become fast. Or if you use bigger spring, so it will exert more force on the edges and corners and cube become more stable but little slow. So speed and stability depends on the stiffness of the spring. So higher the stiffness, longer the spring and more stable the cube, and shorter the spring, lower the stiffness and cube will be faster. So you have to balance the both. That's why I use medium strength spring. And let's move to our Tengyun V2. So outer ring of Tengyun V2 can be adjusted using this tool, the bigger part of this tool. So outer ring has 4 settings, 0, 0.5, 1 and 1.5. Smaller the setting means the lower the stiffness and cube will be fast, and as we increase the settings, the stiffness of spring will increase and cube will be more stable. So I like fast cube, so I set it to the 0. We can move the ring of Tengyun V2 in clockwise or as well as anti-clockwise direction, which we can't do in WRM as well as XS. I am not going to use this centerpiece travel system. It just works like the nuts in GAN XS, but we can use a screw for the same purpose, which can give us infinite settings. So I am not going to use this 4 setting or limited setting tool. So centerpiece travel system has total 4 settings. Each setting loose or tighten the cube by quarter turn, but we got screw, so I'm not going to use this setting. I didn't like it at all. Got 2 extra spring with this cube, but I'm not going to use this spring as I'm comfortable with medium strain spring. Finally, let's talk about its performance. So Tengyun V1 is my main and it's really very fast and its corner cutting is very smooth. So I was expecting same with stability from Tengyun V2. So I tried all magnet settings, but magnets are too strong for me. So finally I end up with setting it to a lowest magnet setting, as on weakest magnet cube will be more faster. So after looping and setting magnets to the lowest setting, this cube become as fast as Tengyun V1. Diane had tried to make Tengyun V1 more stable, but while making it stable, they lost its main quality, like Tengyun V1 was fast and effortless turning, but Tengyun V2 don't have that qualities. Now let's talk about corner cutting. So if you see the corner cutting of Tengyun V1, then Tengyun V1 corner cut at every angle very smoothly. That's why it's my main. And if you talk about corner cutting of Tengyun V2, then its corner cutting is very snappy at smallest angle. I was expecting very smooth corner cutting from V2, but it's very different from Tengyun V1. Also, due to bad corner cutting, we get lockups while executing algo with D moves. So turning need to be very accurate while using this cube. That's why I didn't like its corner cutting at all. I spent nearly a week on its spring compression system and tried every possible combinations. As I want stable cube, so I started with highest compression setting, which is 1.5. But as we increase the compression of spring, the corner cutting of cube become more snappy. So I gradually decrease the compression of spring and finally I end up with the 0 setting. So eventually I didn't use its compression setting at all. Also I set the magnet setting to 3, so it also not useful for me. As compared to Tengyun V1, this cube is very stable, but I didn't like it at all cause I need smooth corner cutting and speedy cube. Finally talking about its overall performance, so this cube is very stable and its magnet system is very good. So if you like strong magnet, then you can buy this cube, but the only thing I didn't like in this cube is that its corner cutting is very snappy, which affects its overall performance. It lock up sometime while doing last layer or while doing some PLL. I average sub 14 on Tengyun V1, but on this cube I get 14 plus or 15 plus average. If you are buying this cube just because you like Tengyun V1, then maybe it's the wrong choice for you. I will suggest WRM over this cube, or you can go for Tengyun V1 too. Tengyun V1 is better cube than Tengyun V2.